Hello, Dihessa here. All right, so I have just given myself a new challenge. What were you thinking, Dihessa? But we are going for it. I have just challenged myself to post 10 videos in the next 10 days on this channel. We are going for it. You will definitely want to watch this series if you are a coach, a healer, an entrepreneur, somebody who's sharing your spiritual growth with others and making a business out of it. You definitely, let me rephrase this, with soul's completion, soul's growth as a core value, as central value, you will definitely want to watch this series. Why? Because I am going so deep in sharing all the things that I have, navigated, that I've continued to navigate. Like all things about money, all things about spirituality and money, all things about spirituality and relationship with clients, all things about even marketing in a way that fuels your soul, all things about really showing up, and all things about energy that I personally have navigated again and continue to navigate. That has brought me to the space now where, oh my God, I really truly have the most incredible clients in my, I'm thinking about, I'm like, how did this happen? Like the most incredible clients, the most empowered clients in my business. My business is growing every month. The impact is growing every month. Every single month is growing. Every single month I'm getting new clients over and over and over again. Obviously, when that happens, your income also increases. And for me, it has gotten to the space where it's really multi-5-figure months in my business. So I want to share with you, right? And again, even when I share all of that, I share all of that with what really, I always go back to what is the central value here? What is the core value here? The core value here is really soul's growth, soul's completion, and really listening to what does my soul want, which brings me to the topic of this particular video. Let's get this straight, right? Let's get this straight. There are plenty of humans, right, on the planet right now who grow epic businesses, who grow businesses that are thriving, businesses that are making a ton of money, but who don't necessarily focus on soul's growth as a central value for their own life, right? And then at the same time, and when I'm saying that, right, the reason why I'm saying that is that I don't want us to be here saying to ourselves, if I don't focus on my soul, then I cannot build my business. That's not what business growth is all about. Business growth is all about energy, and where you put your energy, the kind of action that you take, and that's what creates that. So it's very possible that you can create a thriving business without focusing on soul's growth. The question is that what you want? If that's what you want, then probably this channel is not necessarily the one for you. But if you are somebody who has really your spirituality, your spiritual growth, connection to your soul is something that is very important to you, then that's what we want to do here. That's where we're going with this here. The fact of the matter as well is that there are plenty of humans, plenty of entrepreneurs who have that as a central value, but are also having the hardest time creating, growing their businesses, growing their income. Why? Because one doesn't necessarily equate the other, but when you really combine both of them together, there's so much power in it, and it's so much more fulfilling, right? And that's what I want to focus on this channel. That's what I focus on in my business to begin with. Why? Because what I have come to know is that a lot of the times we may focus on, it's I've heard this sentence before where it says, if you can focus on all the material, right? You can focus on growing your business. You can focus on growing your money. You can and actually achieve it and over and over and over again, right? The saying that I heard is that as long as you don't actually give your soul what your soul wants, you will always feel unfulfilled, right? This is not a reason, as I said that, right? Because what I've realized is that, as I said that, a lot of the times what humans who are spirituality driven do, which I did for the longest time, automatically, because like at some point we come to the realization that materials is not things of the material is not what is really truly fulfilling to us, right? A lot of the times you can find people who may have created a ton of like a lot of money and all these things, and then at the end they're like, well, is that all there is to it? Is that all there is to it? There are countless stories like that, right? But I think the sad part is that we took that side of the equation and we equated to the fact that, well, that doesn't matter, right? Materials don't matter as a spiritual, like a lot of us, right, have done. I have done that. No longer. I no longer do that, right? We equated the fact that, well, that is not fulfilling, so let's neglect it, right? But what ends up happening is then we start being in a space where, like, literally, it's like we are not using money as something that can then fuel the things that matter to us the most, right? So for me, one thing that I decided is I'm going to use money, I'm going to use all the materials to serve my soul's growth, my soul's completion, what my soul wants, right? And be crystal clear what is the priority. What that means to me is that I am not going to sacrifice connection to my soul. And when I say that, let's be clear, I make mistakes all the time, I fall all the time, that is the journey, right? But I'm talking about like what I strive for the most in my life, in my business is I'm not going to sacrifice connection to my soul for the purpose of money. But rather than that, I'm actually going to use the strength of my soul. I'm going to listen to the strength, that energy of, connect to that energy of my soul, listen to what it is that my soul wants, and utilize that as a fuel for creating all the materials that I want to create in my life for the purpose of what? Really always going back to what does my soul want? And for what purpose does my soul want that? Right? And so when I say that, it sounds very esoteric, it sounds very much like woo-woo out there. What is the hell is this story about? Like, even when I started talking about like the soul, it's like, Dihessa, what the hell is that? It's like, it sounds like some idea out there. It's like, who the hell do you think you are talking about the soul and stuff like that? And so the day that I felt what I call my soul for the first time, it was quite moving for me. I think we all feel our souls at some point or another, but for me, like, I didn't phrase it like that at the time, and it was pretty incredible for me. Like, the very first time that I like technically or consciously felt it, I was in tears, right? I was and knew that that's what I was feeling. I was in tears. Prior to that, I'm pretty sure, again, like all of us experience that, like it's like the soul whispers to us all the time. But what I really wanted to share with you in this video is how to connect to the soul. At the end of the day, if we want to follow what our soul wants, we have to know what our soul wants, right? We have to be crystal clear. What does my soul want? Without that, in my humble opinion, this is my humble opinion, without that, it's always like, and I've experienced this myself, and then I also have seen, even through like working with many of my clients, as long as they don't pinpoint that, they can still create. You can still create a ton of stuff, but like to a certain extent, it always feels like something is missing. Right? It always feels like something is missing. And we always have that feeling of it's never enough. It's never enough. There's something missing. There's something missing, right? But rather than that, like from my experience, once I started really feeling and really having that communication, which brings me to what I'm talking about here, for us to be able to hear what our souls want, it's only one thing that needs to happen. We have to communicate with our soul. We have to communicate. We have to have a conversation with our soul, right? So we can think that we can do that through our head. If you do that and that works for you, that is perfectly okay. But like in this video, what I want to share with you is actually something quite precious. I want to share with you, I'm going to share with you how you can actually connect to the energy of your soul inside of you, right? Again, like I was sharing earlier, the very first time that I experienced that, I was in tears. And when you do experience that, if you've been in my space a while, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably have had that experience, because I do share that, it's like connecting with your soul's energy in some of my other videos. You may have experienced it and then all of a sudden had like tears flowing down your cheeks, or being so moved in your chest, and all the things around it, right? That is the experience of your soul. So as I'm saying that, you may be wondering, okay, how do I know for sure that that's what I'm experiencing? What do I know for sure? Where is my soul to begin with, right? I always go back to the energetic system, because it always has the answers. Has always, like, if you like, the moment that I learned and I understood and I practice and really like I'm now managing my energy well, the moment I understand what is what inside of my energetic system, it's like all the pieces of the puzzles came together for me, right? So if you think about your energetic system, you may be familiar with chakras and stuff, right? Your soul's energy is actually in your heart chakra. Your soul's energy is in your heart chakra. More importantly than that, your soul's energy, your soul, right? Like we have our physical body, and then you have your soul, the soul part of who you are. The soul part of who you are is not physical, so you cannot touch it, you cannot see it, you cannot smell it, you cannot you cannot use your five senses to communicate, right? You cannot use your five senses. You can try, right? You cannot use your five senses to like see or hear or all the things. Your soul, right? What you can use to communicate with your soul is energy. Why? Because your soul, the nature itself of your soul is energy. The nature itself of your soul is energy. And so if you do not awaken your sensibilities, your sensitivity to feeling energy, it is a little bit more challenging, right? To have that communication with that part of who you are, right? All of us have senses beyond our five senses. And sometimes we accidentally feel it, or we feel it without knowing that that's what we're feeling. But in this video, what I want to share with you is how to intentionally communicate. First of all, feel the energy of your soul in your fourth chakra, right? And communicate with that part of who you are. Communicate with your soul. A little bit of a warning, right? So, a little bit of a warning. When you do connect with that part of your soul, that part of who you are, your soul, sometimes some of the answers that you get will be scary like shit. Let's just say that. Can scare you out of your mind, right? Most of us, like a lot of the times, and I've done it again, like I've done it before, I'll probably do it again. Most of the time when we hear that, what we do is we ignore it, right? But there's so much power in when you listen, you hear it, and you actually make moves. I'll give you an example. Now, like thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of humans later who have done my like energy exercise practice that I've shared like so many times for years now. Now down the road, I'm like, oh my God, this was so true. What am I talking about? So like, I remember the very first time that I really started having this idea, right? This idea that I really want to, because I had then like experienced my own energy, the energy of my soul. And I was like, okay, I want to share this with people. I really want to share this with entrepreneurs, like specifically because I was realizing, oh my God, it can have an impact in how you can actually grow your business in a way that is connected to yourself. So, and then I connected to my soul, which I'm going to share with you in a second. I connected to an energy of my soul, and then I asked a question, what should I do? And then the question was, it was like, the answer was so crystal clear. right? The answer was so crystal clear. I could feel it. I could like again, it's beyond your five senses. The answer was you needed to go and then create this video where you show people how to experience energy and how to utilize energy for creation. And I'm like, you are out of your mind. My soul, I think you are out of my mind, your mind. This was years ago. So now it sounds funny because I've done it so many times. But at the time I was like, I was so scared of how my siblings are going to see me, how my, like my parents are going to see me. People who know me, for goodness sake, my friends, my family, everybody is going to see these videos on social media. Are you out of your mind? A part of me was like, oh my God, this is such a good idea. I'm so excited. I'm going to do this. And then another part of me was like, no. Since then, I'm not going to do it. It was scary, but I'm so glad. And it actually, the truth is, it was so scary at the time. And now I'm thinking about it. What was so scary about it? Duh. Anyways, it was so scary at the time. It took me a couple of months to actually do the thing, right? To actually put that video on the internet. And that is the video that has changed my life. That's the video that has changed my whole entire business. That is the video that I credit the fact that now I'm making multi-five-figure months in my business. That is the video, right? But at first when I heard that intuitive, they were like, oh my God, I don't know if I should do this, right? So that's the little warning that I'm going to give you. But the promise that I can also make you is that if you truly listen, right? So to truly hear what your soul wants, you have to get out of your head. This is not about your thoughts. This is about being in the feeling. Being in the feeling is how we communicate with what? With our soul. What I know for sure, as scary as it may be sometimes, when you hear that whisper from your soul, if you actually do follow it, what happens beyond it is like undescribable actually. I never in a million years could I have really even like imagined all the things that have happened on my journey of entrepreneurship, sharing these things about energy with people, right? With humans, with clients, with even people who've never been with my clients before, right? But even beyond that, who I have become, this is why I'm always talking about soul's growth. When we do listen and then we continue to go, we continue like literally, even scared, right? What ends up happening is like a tremendous growth, tremendous spiritual growth, right? And what also, like again, if you are focused on growing your business, if you go focus on growing your money and you're doing the things around it, what also happens is that you end up actually creating what it is that you set out to create, right? So what I'm going to share with you now is how to connect with the energy of your soul. As I said before, the energy of your soul is in your heart chakra. It is right here. What we're going to do is we're going to stimulate it, right? And also inside of your chest, inside of the fourth chakra, you have like your soul also has cohabitant, which is the energy of your emotions. We're not going to talk about that today. We're only going to experience awakening the energy of your soul and connecting to that energy. And once you connect to that energy, it's like one of those things. Once you know, you cannot unknow, right? Once you connect to that energy, like I'll highly suggest, like anytime you feel like, oh, I'm lost, anytime you feel like, oh, I don't know what to do, anytime you feel like, oh, like, is this a correct answer, blah, 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 all the things that, right? Like to go here first. A lot of the times you have the tendency to ask somebody else. Don't get me wrong, I do it too, right? Like, do you have the answer? Blah, 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 all the blah. But every time I have gone to here and received the answer from here, it's actually really has never led me wrong, right? And so I'm sharing this with you with the hope that you'll do it today and that it won't stop at just today, and that you remember this even in the future for yourself and even for your business, right? So how are we going to do this? It's simple actually. It's very easy. You can start by like utilizing your fingertip. Simply tap your chest, right? Tap your chest, tap your chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. You'll notice that even the moment that you start tapping your chest, depending on how sensitive you are, you can already start feeling like, kind of like you feeling moved in your chest, right? You're feeling some sort of like maybe the energy is lifting, the energy is becoming lighter, your heart is becoming open, right? And at the same time, some of the other things that can also happen is we also a lot of the times have the tendency to suppress some of our stuff, some of our emotions, some of our, right? Sometimes when you start tapping like this as well, it can awaken that, right? And if that's the case for you, what I would suggest is not to try to suppress it, but to really allow, just watch it, watch what is coming up, observe what's coming up without judging it, simply observe it and allow it to just process, right? Allow it to just process out of you. It's just energy that is trying to process out of you. That's all it is doing, okay? So, because that's what emotions are, right? So continue tapping, inhale and exhale, 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 inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Continue, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Even your eye gaze towards your chest. All of your focus towards your chest. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, bring both hands together. So what we're doing here is we're activating your fingertips. Why? Because they have lots of nerves connected to your brain. Okay, so we're awakening. What we're wanting to do here is awaken your sensitivity to energy so that you can connect to what? To your soul, simply because your soul is energy, and the language that your soul communicates with is energy, right? And so you tap your fingertips like this. Tap your fingertips like this. And slowly stop. And as you stop, feel the space between your hands. You can also close your eyes. And then the space between your hands, it may feel tingling, it may feel warm, it may feel magnetic. It may also feel electric. Or you may feel nothing, it's all okay. Continue to focus on the space between your hands. And then open to the sides and close, continuously connecting to the energy sensation. Open and close, and you are doing this in front of your chest. Open and close. Open and close. And now bring your hands towards your chest. And this time around, feel the space between your hands and your chest. Once again, you may feel tingling sensation, warm sensation in your hands. And then on your chest area, you may feel light sensation, meaning like open sensation, heaviness lifting. You may also feel warm or tingling. Now, move your hands out and in. This is amplifying the sensation and amplifying your connection to your soul's energy. If you like, you can close your eyes and continue to open and close and stay in the feeling. And stay in the feeling. And as the feeling continues to intensify. You can do this for as long as you wish. And then you get to say, my soul. You can literally say, my soul. You can call my soul. My soul, my soul, my soul. And then you can communicate with your soul. You can say, what do you want, my soul? What can I do, my soul? What matters to you the most, my soul? What will you have me do, my soul? And you can stay here and then feel that connection to that which you are feeling, that energy connection, that energy exchange, especially as you start to feel moved in your chest. That is the energy of your soul, and it's always wanting to communicate with you. You can stay in the feeling, and you can get all the answers that you wish to get by simply asking any question that you wish to ask your soul from this perspective. And once you are done, you can bring your hands down, and then you can breathe in and then breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. And so, if you've done this, if you've practiced this, if you've felt it, I'm very curious to hear or to read what the sensation was for you. What was the experience for you? Did you get any answers from your soul? Did you actually trust in it? Did you trust it? Did you believe in it? Right? That's the other thing. Sometimes you're like, maybe it wasn't, maybe it wasn't. If you didn't feel anything, it's simply very likely because you were still in your head. And so what I would suggest is to tap longer, right? Tap longer to get yourself out of your head and inside of your sensation, inside of your feeling. And that is where you will get your answers, and that is where you will experience the connection. The fact of the matter is, soul's energy is a very powerful energy that you can utilize for creation in your life, in your business. I use it all the time, but you have to know how to use it properly in combination with all the other energies inside of your body. There are certain energies that are specifically for taking action. You can literally utilize, I've done this, utilize your body, your energetic system for quitting procrastination, for taking action like gangbusters. Ever since I've been taking action like gangbusters, ever since I stopped procrastinating, ever since really I started making moves, is when I started getting results. And yeah, there are some people who naturally it's like they take action. Nobody's like that, but I was not one of those people. I definitely wasn't a person who knew how to manage her emotion properly, who had like a ton of willpower, who knew how to take action and consistent action and stuff like that. That wasn't me. It wasn't me at all, right? What I was doing at the time was really like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go, and stop and go, and leaking a ton of energy and not getting results, really. Like jumping from one thing to another, not getting results, not trusting myself, not like all the things, or not having the ability to choose, and all the things around it, right? But it wasn't until, again, like I can say this so many times, there are some people who naturally like do it. Why? Because their system, without even them knowing why it works for them, the system is already, how do you say, like the system is already in a condition that allows them to do that. And then there are people like me who for the longest time, actually, like I wasn't like that, right? It wasn't until I learned how my energetic system works that I really leveraged it in a big way, in taking action, in making bold moves, in It's like holding space for my clients in so many different ways. And those are the things that actually create results, right? And I want to share those things with you because what I have my Golden Aura 5-day challenge coming up in just a few days from now. If you haven't signed up for it yet, oh my God, you definitely want to experience it. I'm going to share after this, I'm going to share a video of like we hear this, like this happens all the time. There's so many celebrations during Golden Aura 5-day challenge all the damn time, and sometimes we catch it on video, sometimes like you'll see in this video. I was just having a conversation with one of the beautiful humans who is in my Unity program. She had literally just entered like just a couple of weeks, and this was the first time I was meeting her, and I didn't expect this to happen because a lot of people actually it happens for them and I don't ever know about it. But then there are also those who celebrate with me and who share with me. And as you will see in the video, if I had known that I was going to use this video publicly, I'll probably have dolled up a little bit more than I did in the video, but that's not the point. What's most important is for you to hear what she was sharing in the videos. There are countless stories like that. I'm simply sharing with you just in case you may be on the fence or something that might just encourage you to come have this experience for yourself. And then there are those who, this makes me laugh all the time, those who say to me, wow, I signed up for Golden Aura, I almost didn't want to show up fully for it, and then the moment I showed up fully for it, all these things happen. There's celebrations of money, tons of celebrations of money, tons of celebrations of new clients, tons of celebrations of really deep connection to oneself, right? That's what I'm most proud of, believe it or not. What I'm most proud of in my work is, yes, the clients that I work with, they get to create all these like money growth in their businesses, client growth in their businesses, impact growth in their businesses. But the one thing that I'm the most proud of is that they get to experience their soul to a completely different level, right? And they get moved so deeply in the process. And even they often tell me, yeah, like all these amazing things started happening in my life. But the most important thing to me, funny enough, is how deeply connected I feel with myself and how at home I feel with myself. And to me, it doesn't get any better than that, right? So I'll leave you with that video, and while inviting you to join us for Golden Aura 5-day challenge starting very soon. Talk to you in the next video.
I did that Golden Aura first and just tried that out, and I haven't stopped getting clients. I'm a little bit exhausted.
Tell me more.
Yes, the very first, I was actually in Italy on holidays when that popped up in my Facebook. So I thought I will just look at this lady and have a read, and I was sitting down relaxing, and I thought I'll just do it. So I started listening to that, and by the time I got home, the very first week I got home, I had 8 new clients, and the following week I had 5 new clients. This week I've had 2, and prior to that, if I got 1 a month, I was excited. So, yes, very aligned, beautiful.